3, 2.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world, and that's our job.
You have to make it. Chill. You What up, DMV? We getting money whole time, fucking bitches whole time, rapping DC whole time. We getting money whole time, fucking bitches whole time, rapping DC whole time. Your shine whole time, doing this whole time, doing this whole time, doing this whole time. Man, you're back, doing this whole time.
Like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing.
Welcome to a pod named Kickback. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing. Also known as the Black CNN and a revolution will be televised. I'm no Brace Noodle, righteous ratchet. If you throw it, I'll catch it. If you got it, I'll match it. Every week we right back at it. I am the Black Savage, the Magneto of my people. And I got a special guest this week, as I do every week. Please give where my applause is. Let's get a round of applause going for Natalie, Miss Natalie's Nirvana.
Well, thank you. Oh, you're so kind.
That was standing up. You got standing ovation, just so you know.
Oh, thank you.
You're so kind. Now, before we get started and get into these crazy topics of the week, I want you to tell everybody, who you are, where you're from, what you do, your podcast. But first, I wanted you to break down your name.
Okay. Well, when I introduce myself, I'll break that all down.
Okay.
So my name is Miss Natalie's Nirvana. I'm born and bred in DC. Mostly, some people come to DC transplants. No, I'm born and bred. I am DC General.
I'm Columbia Hospital for Women, Northwest. So yeah, I think that's gone now.
So is DC General, but that's a whole different.
Damn.
That's a homeless shelter or something right now. It's not the hospital. It's been a hospital like 25 years or something like that. It's been closed down. But so I'm from Washington D.C. My daytime work, I work for the government. Work for government. And I am a co-host of a podcast called Just Different Podcast with Jay Jenkins, and we talk about everything. Shout out to Jay. And we talk about everything. We just try to be just different, We just bring up topics about everything. Also, I am a certified relationship coach. I haven't counseled anybody because, I have to work on me first before I work with anybody else. I got the name Natalie's Nirvana because during the time I was going through some, I guess you would say, spiritual enlightening. And I began to study Buddhism and Nirvana. When you reach Nirvana, you reach heaven. And since I won't consciously see heaven, I'm living my heaven. So this is Natalie's heaven.
That's what's up. I like it. My aunt, who passed this year, everybody know, rest in peace, Aunt Joyce. She was a Nichiren Buddhist. She used to pass along some of the teachings to me. So I respect it. So just
Third Veda.
Huh?
Third Veda.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this should be an interesting show. We got some more righteous and ratchet in there, so it should be a good look. Now, what I like to do, not just to warm my co-host up, but to just kind of put things in perspective. Let's see how your week was. Let's go into high and low of the week. Where's my drop?
Now, high low. Who wants to go first?
Since this is your first, high low. Do you want to go first or you want me to go?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So So today's Wednesday. So the high of my week, I'm off this week. So that's a high.
That's definitely clap it up for that.
Yes, I'm off this week. But my low is that I should have been in Jamaica right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was politics and yeah.
So you were supposed. So this was originally scheduled as a Jamaica trip. Took the
Yeah.
time off, but you're in the DMV.
So my family, they're gone. It was something dealing with work. So I was just
I had an exact Jamaica story. I've legally changed my name, and my passport expired. So when I went to renew it and go through, I had to get my name change document. I had to get an updated copy of my social security card with my new. I'm on missing a whole trip, and it was during COVID, so everything was backed up. So I missed a whole Jamaica trip based on that. So I literally feel your pain, literally.
So what about you? Which your high and low of the week?
My high of the week, I say was how I ended last week. I went into this week thinking, man, I set stretch goals, and I accomplished one of my big stretch goals, which left me worn out. Well, thank you. Oh, clap it up for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yes, cool.
The low of the week was it left me drained. Like I just balls to the wall, just went in, did everything, and after that I was just like, yeah, I just want to crash. And I think that I crashed a little bit. It was good. We had a holiday yesterday. One day off, we'll say. But I felt that crash. So now I know I got to pick back up. But it's funny how the highs and lows are interconnected. You know what I'm saying? Intertwined.
Right.
So that was my low. I didn't even have a real low this week. It's just that I didn't start the way I would have wanted to, but I crashed. I gave it my all. Like have you seen the Shannon Sharp meme when he was leaving Undisputed? He was crying and he was like, just know when you lay your head on that bed at night, I gave you all my head. I gave you all my head. That's how I felt about last week. I gave you all my head. I gave you all my head. So now this week I'm just, recuperating, getting ready for prosperous second half of the year. Do you make goals based on like the first half of the year, second quarter, third quarter, anything like that?
No. I'm gonna be honest. I really just stopped making goals. I will have to say this year was my first year that I really didn't have goals. Because I want to try something different. I want to just go with the flow, right? If I have to pivot, I'm gonna pivot. Because one thing about goals, sometimes you have to pivot, and most times we don't include pivots in our goals. So when we don't reach them, it's just like it's a minor setback. So in order for me to not have that minor setback feeling, I pivot. So I'm just going with the
That's
flow.
very smart. Very smart. With my DJ Khaled, you smart. Yeah, exactly. That's key. What up, Jay from Montenegro? What you doing in Montenegro? I don't even know what Montenegro is. Sound like Jamaica. Is he in Jamaica?
Is that Africa?
You in Africa? Yeah, okay. What up, Jay?
Is it Africa? I could be wrong. Is he in Africa?
I don't know. Montenegro, is that really like Mount Nigga?
Count nigga, right?
Oh, count? I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know what that is. But shout out to you, man. Glad you tuned in way over there. Watch you be like, man, this is Northwest. Oh.
Right.
But you was in a whole other country.
Right.
Let's get into it with our viral story of the week, something that had everybody talking.
My left stroke just went viral.
Oh, he's in Europe. Montenegro's in Europe.
Europe.
Okay, all right.
Okay, like what is he like in Italy someplace? That sounds like Italy. Is he in Italy?
Are you in Italy? I'm sure he'll chime in. But my viral story of the week, man, this was something that really just blew my mind, especially to see it on videotape. It was and you know, I took the last week off, so there was no episode. So I'm going to be discussing some things that you guys heard others discuss, but you can get our take on it tonight. Me and Nat take. So a mother and son were in what I would call a carry-out fast food establishment, and got into some sort of argument with the young man in the establishment, and I feel like he had a total overreaction. I don't know what it was about. I don't know what was going on, but he got upset and started punching the lady, who apparently had sent her son to the car to, to get a gun, to get her gun, just in case things went too far. And of course they did. I have tried to look at this from every single angle. Who overreacted? What happened here? What happened there? And I always drop off at, I always get stopped at is, it's no way in the world he should have been putting his hands on that woman. It's nothing that's going to make that okay. It's nothing that's going to make that make sense. It's unfortunate he lost his life. You never want situations to end that way. It's unfortunate the young man had to do it. It's unfortunate the mother was there to be a part of it. Even if she was instigating the whole thing, if she instigated every single piece of it, called him out his name, called his mother out, I'm leaving. I'm going, you know what, ma'am, you got it. Yep, I'm scared. You got it. I'm leaving. I don't even want my food. I'm getting up out of there. I'm not sitting in. There's no way for you to win in that situation, going back and forth with a woman in that situation, especially if you feel like your temper's getting to a dangerous level. I'm just leaving. I'm pretty sure his family wishes he had left. I'm pretty sure as he was running away, he wished he had just left. It's just not worth it. Was the mother wrong? I don't know, man. I'm sure there's fault for her. But you can't put your hands on somebody and then dictate how they respond to that. And he put his hands on a woman, which is wrong everywhere you look at it.
He hit her like he was hitting a straight dude, you know. But I will say this. I really didn't have, after he hit her, any sympathy for him went out the window, because she didn't put her hands on him. She didn't like threaten him, and from what I saw from the video,
right.
You know, sometimes some young men, and this is a whole different topic, whole different conversation, but they like to, that ego just get the best of them. And I'm gonna show you that I'm tough, and you gonna watch who you talking to, because who am I? You know, you need to know who I am. But subsequent, watching the videos of his family members after, with sympathy. Watching those videos and the t-shirt, knockout king. Is this a deeper conversation, like I said, but the message that you're sending, is that a message that we want to send to our community? She defended, her son defended her. Her son did what every Black son is told to do for their mother, which is defending. So was he wrong for defending his mother? Because he probably is 14. He probably scared too. He basically was about to knock my mother head off her shoulder. What are you gonna do to me? Probably knock him out too. So when it comes to that, we raise our children to defend us, you know. And do I feel bad that he lost his life? Yes. But at the same time, the young man defended his mother. So I can't even fault him for that. Because what if he would have knocked this lady out? She would have hit her head on the counter. He could have killed her. He could have killed her just by hitting her that number of times. What conversation would we had then? Oh, nobody in the carryout was gonna defend her. No, but you know, it would have been a whole different conversation if she would have passed and no one helped her, you know. So she was defenseless. Like the way he cooked his, like, it was no excuse. His ego got the best of him. And
it was like he hated her. It was like
Yeah.
his op. Like they've been beefing for years. It's like
Yeah.
a
And
little argument in the store, man. You let that go. Get home to your family.
But that's a whole deeper conversation, because what is so, why does our community have that much anger? Our young men have so much anger. Like, that could have been someone disrespecting his mother. You know,
Right.
I don't think people look at that. Again, that's a whole different conversation. But
I want to throw the pink toes in here too, because they go and have shootings at the schools and kill everybody. They manage the whole school. So it's not. We need to be accountable for what we do, and I'm not removing any of that accountability. I just want to just make sure I shout out the pink toes, and they be doing their little shit too.
But you want to know the difference between, that's a whole different conversation. But I spoke about this on our podcast too. The difference between our community and their community, they go take them to the doctor, and they are clinically diagnosed at 2. We believe that that's their problem. We could just fix our kids with an ass whooping. We don't give our kids the help that they need. Then they grow up. Microaggression, they have a whole lot of issues that go unresolved, because we felt like that's the white, that's their problem. That's the shit that they do. Because every time something like a mass shooting or whatever go on, what color was he? Now we're starting to see that the guy down in Texas, he was Hispanic. He wasn't white. The guy who shot up the mall, he was Hispanic too. So it's now we have to really start to really think about how we are handling our children when we start to see problems. An ass whooping ain't gonna fix everything, and prayer works, but you need to understand what you're praying for, because you may be praying for helping him fix all of these. No, you need to pray because he bipolar, he's schizophrenic, he's starting seeing shit at 2. He had a whole 12 friends that he played with in the corner. When you put him in timeout, you beating his ass because he in the corner talking to himself. No, he's talking to Billy, who's friend number 5.
Right.
And him and friend number 8 is they fighting, and he laughing at that shit is serious. I mean, think about it. When you was in elementary school, how many kids, and I didn't even say boy, how many kids you knew had a problem? And they
was in the special education class. We knew who they easily identify them, and if they weren't in it, you would look at them and go, "He need to be in special ed." We knew we needed to be there. But I'm gonna shout out my family a little bit of credit, because I've been in therapy off and on since I was 11. So therapy was never frowned upon in my family, and I think it's starting to become less and less taboo in the Black community.
Yes, that's a good.
There's a lot of talk about mental health. Joe Budden, myself, we're doing it right now. So I think the stigma that comes with mental health is kind of fading. It's still there a little bit, but it's kind of fading. And if anybody thinks they need help, I'm a great book on anxiety, depression, anger is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Oprah Winfrey has a great book called What Happened to You. That's about dealing with childhood traumas. Just a couple ideas. I do regular therapy, and I do what I call book therapy. So I'll grab a book and dive into it and kind of not necessarily diagnose myself, but work towards healing. I'll put it that way.
Right. That's what Buddhism did for me when I started my healing journey. So I read some books, but I also downloaded Talkspace for people who don't actually want to go in and see a therapist. Talkspace is a good app. You can communicate with your therapist. It's really helpful. So the help is out there. Again, I'm a relationship coach, not a therapist, but it takes a lot of work, and it's a lot of science that goes into understanding the mind of the individual and how you can help them cope and understand their issues. So it's a lot, and hats off the therapist. Clap it up for them. That's a real hard job, and there are more and more Black therapists out there, and I think a lot of us don't have trust. We have trust issues, so we wouldn't really trust to tell someone our secrets or whatever, but there are Black therapists out there. So
definitely, I have a Black woman therapist. I haven't been in a minute, but I have a Black woman therapist. So They're there.
My therapist and I, we talk like we best friends. Yeah, we
That's
got
good.
it. So therapy is a good thing. People, nothing's wrong with it. It's a good
At
thing.
all.
Don't be scared. And then you don't even gotta tell nobody that you're going to therapy. Just go ahead and go. Just pick up the phone, go do a Google search and and then you can ask someone.
And you don't need therapy. You don't only need therapy when everything is falling apart. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes therapy can prevent things from falling apart. So
Exactly.
therapy can be
That's
a
very
preventative
true.
measure, as well, for sure.
Right.
We pro therapy here, so y'all know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
So, now, if you were around, I could have used some relationship counseling a couple months ago. I don't know where the hell you've been, Natalie, but yeah, you've been around.
I've been trying to save myself. I've been trying to save myself. No, but to circle back around to that story, I think that young man who may he rest in peace. I think he probably needed therapy at age seven, because this aggression, he was too aggressive. And things you can just look at him and we just tell things have happened to him. And I don't know if his surroundings were good, but he needed
probably not.
And so sad.
And that young boy who took his life is going to need therapy. Probably the mother too. They went through, all charges were dropped. So they won't be charged with anything. But I'm sure they need therapy. So
even the people that was in the store when all that stuff happened,
Yeah.
like that is traumatizing.
I was right off Minnesota, right off 99 Borough, in the little corner store. First time I saw somebody get shot, I was probably 7 or 8, and I saw the whole thing unfold right in front of me. So my mother grabbed me to pull me, away from the situation. And if she hadn't, who knows? I was damn near in the line of fire. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I heard my
DC.
stories about that too. Yeah, it's so traumatizing. So I had to go to therapy for a certain situation that happened, and I was in close proximity, and it fucked me up. So I can say just off firsthand, you never forget, the fire coming from the barrel. You never forget that.
Never.
The person didn't die. Good thing, But,
the person was a family friend. They didn't die. But yeah, just still short.
Person was my family. So
yeah.
But again,
yeah. Well, let's go into
he knocked her ass. He hit her ass. I'm sorry. He hit. Did you see? He cocked his. Whew.
Yeah.
We go to the next story because that just keep popping in my head, just like how he just.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for it. Moving on, our what the fuck story of the week.
It's the mayor. Stay high. What the fuck? You know what it is. What the fuck?
If you didn't know, all these songs, this is all me.
Yours.
From my past life as a rapper, my past life. But,
once a rapper, always a rapper.
Facts. So our what the fuck story of the week, affirmative action, is being moved out of some of the most prominent, prestigious universities in the country. And I always, whenever the affirmative action is on trial, I always feel like they don't get it. I always say, I think it was a white woman who said she was teaching white people about racism. It was like, take a step forward. If you had both your parents, take a step forward. If you, grew up in a two-parent, grew up with a good family, your parents had good jobs, take a step back. If you only had a single parent household, take a step back. If your skin is dark, take a step back. And then they said, this is how we start. And it was like all the white kids were like 10 paces ahead of the black kids. Like, this is where we're starting based on things that you had no control over. You didn't control your complexion. You didn't control what your parents did. You didn't control where you was area you were born in. But just based on being born, you have a 10-step advantage over every other minority. And what affirmative action does is it lessens the gap. It doesn't close it, but it lessens the gap. And whenever people want to take affirmative action out of employment opportunities, out of educational opportunities, in my mind, I immediately think you're trying to further the gap. You're trying to widen the gap again. And I think that's exactly what's going on here. Not to get too off topic, but I blame all this on the people that were apathetic with voting. Well, Trump ain't that bad, man. I don't care. I don't care about Joe Biden. He old. I ain't voting. I ain't never vote for Hillary because she did this, she did that. All of that is what led to the Supreme Court, the judges being replaced by Trump. And all of that led to these decisions that we're dealing with now. Roe versus Wade being overturned. All of these things, these are the things that I warned against on this very podcast. If y'all let Trump get in office, he's going to undo everything. Oh, you trying to fear mine. You trying to scare us. You trying to make us vote. We don't want to vote. You trying to scare us. You trying to scare us into doing this and doing that. And I think that, unfortunately, it's come to fruition. So as we're looking at what's going on now, taking it full circle back to this affirmative action thing, it's wild, man. It's a lot of opportunities being lost, and I don't like it. I'm not the biggest fan of the white institutions, but I'm just not happy that we're going to lose that footing.
I saw an interesting comment on Instagram when someone says that we have HBCUs for a reason. Now, my question is, with affirmative action, a lot of white students were able to enroll as minorities. Does that mean that they're not able to, they wouldn't be able to take a part of, HBCU education? Like how is this going to work with them too? Because that did help them. Because they were minorities and they were able to get into HBCUs off of minority scholarships, which I've always thought was very unfair.
And I don't know really how often that happens.
I don't know, but
I don't know that.
But still, I don't think it should happen at
all. I'm with you.
But just to be fair, because with the history of our country, like we had to do X, Y, Z in order for us to be where we are, and now we're forced to share, which nothing is wrong with that, and they still take advantage of what it is that the institutions that we created for ourselves, because we were boxed out, just like you couldn't get to Harvard, you couldn't get to Princeton, you couldn't get to those Ivy League schools. But I mean, bigger question, does it really matter on your resume if you went to Princeton, you were a black student in Princeton?
Yes. I know, I've seen it. The guy started this podcast with 11 years ago, went to Harvard, graduated from Harvard. It just changes things. And not necessarily on your resume, but when you're in a conversation, the guy goes, "Hey man, I got this great business and I'm looking for a guy, to come in and step in. Like, hey, I went to Harvard."
Yeah.
Call me tomorrow. Even and networking is, I think, more important than any degree, but having that degree gives you a hand in networking. Like he's been offered, he was offered a position to run a company based on he went to Harvard. Not based on qualification, but he's really qualified. But my point, it was like, because, whatever you get a degree, especially from one of those institutions, Ivy League, that are considered to be difficult to graduate from. They don't know you went to that school, they looked at it like, you graduated from that school.
You graduated, right.
You did all the work that they put you through, and you made it. It's like getting jumped into a gang or something. Like when you come out of it, they go, "Oh yeah, if you with them, you had to go through something
to get there."
Right. Or in sports, minicamp, you get drafted, that means something.
Right.
So I think that's the key. And Jay said, it's our official field correspondent, said it's mainly UNC and Harvard. I think that's where it's beginning. But I do University of North Carolina and Harvard.
Okay.
I guess that's where it started, the implementation of removing affirmative action. But I do think it's going to be, to my understanding, nationwide. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's going to be nationwide. And It's just one of them things that make you say, "What the fuck?" Like what? Like now?
Yeah.
Now what? You know?
Now what? You know. And Clarence Thomas, it's just like, did you forget? Did you really forget that you? I don't even like thinking about him.
Yeah, let's lighten the mood and get into some.
Yeah, because that one right there, yeah. It's bad. It's bad all the way around. I would say it's really bad, and I just think that we're gonna suffer.
Yeah, but we need to stop worrying about schools and get a trade. Start going to trade school. I sell insurance. You don't need a degree for that. You can make you a.
But what happened? Why did they take trade out of schools?
Oh, you know why? Too many of us was getting ahead with that program, so they had to up the ante. So now you can't really get paid, or you don't know to do that. So they feed into you or feed in your head. You got to go to college. You got to go to this great university, get this 4-year degree. That's where the money is. The country makes money off that. They're not making money off you going to a trade school for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know
My daughter's 14. She told me she doesn't want to go to college. I said, Mommy, I don't want to go. She said, there's ways to make money without going to college.
That is a fact.
She's 14. This generation is very different. So
yeah.
We have to teach them. We have to make sure that we cultivate their imaginations and their skills, and to ensure that they are better than us. Children are our future.
Absolutely. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them. Oh, my bad. Let me get in my Whitney Houston bag. You know, I mean, take that out. But our Don't Be Dumb Award. Whew, this is a crazy story.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
So there was two roommates, I believe, and they were, in the house fighting. One of the roommates killed his roommate, and on the way out, fleeing the scene, trips on the steps and fatally shoots himself. And they're calling it an accidental suicide. This happened in the Bronx. Where else could it happen? It's either the Bronx or Florida. Like we already know.
How does that happen?
Jesus Christ.
Like what do you have like?
He obviously didn't. His trousers were baggy. He took him up, according to a detective. He failed with his finger still on the trigger. His trousers.
That's my question.
A final time, blasting himself with a fatal bullet to the neck.
So how was he running with the gun? Was he like this?
Yeah, exactly. Because you know why? You see him doing it in the music videos. You see him doing it in the movies. So he is. I'm not even trying to make light of that, but come on, man.
Right. That is so crazy.
Come on, man.
Oh gosh. Well, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, man. May they both rest in peace.
Yes, they both.
And I bet it was over something stupid. We'll never know what they were fighting over because they're both dead. But I bet it wasn't worth losing both their lives. I can promise you that.
Well, he was probably running saying, "I got him."
Yep. Got yourself. What Joe Clark used to say, he who has the hammer nails himself. So
he nailed it.
Literally. All right, man, let's get into some good news. This is actually, I said good news before, we took a crazy twist, but this is actually good news. This is our Nipsey Hussle Award.
If it's sports, if it's fashion, if it's music, if it's hustling, whatever, you're on a marathon, you know.
You're on your marathon. And I want to clap it up for a couple people that's on their marathon. Shetellia Riley Irving, the stepmother of basketball player Kyrie Irving, just negotiated a 3-year, $120 million deal for Kyrie to stay with the Dallas Mavericks.
I know that's right.
Black woman, the first black woman to ever negotiate an NBA contract. And she got him $100 million. God damn it.
I know that's right. Yes. Black girl magic.
I was just about to say it, black girl magic.
Black girl magic. Oh, man.
Man,
That's good.
just the strides that women are making in sports in general. There are a lot of women who are coaching college mills. There are women who are assistant coaches in the NBA, and there are, of course, women coaching in the WNBA. And there are women referees in all sports. So give it up for the women in general, but also got to give it up for
And
Black women.
football.
Yeah, give it up for the sisters doing their thing. And
Yes.
not to be forgotten, got to clap it up for one of our brothers as well. Tyler Perry, I'm out here in Georgia, and he has this movie studio which takes up the size of a small city for real. Then it looks like. But he recently purchased BET and VH1 for $400 million. Matter of fact, clap because he had $400 million. But then clap that he's bringing BET back home to us, which we'll get into the BET Awards a little bit later. That was pretty good. But I just love to see it, man. It stretches. I think when these things happen, Barack becomes president, Jay-Z becomes a billionaire, Tyler Perry buys BET and VH1. It stretches your imagination of what you think is possible. And I think as a little kid, I was a dreamer. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be the biggest star in the world. I didn't need much help stretching my imagination. But sometimes you get to a point where things just don't seem realistic. You have the dream, but it feels like it's a dream. And I think what these brothers and sisters are doing is showing that it is not just a dream. I just bought VH1. I just bought BET back.
Right.
No, I just negotiated a deal in the NBA.
Right.
Anything is possible.
Right. And that's very, very good. Hopefully we'll see a different programming and different programming on BET and VH1 that will shine us in a positive light,
Yeah. I think, what's that channel that does all the ratchet stuff now? Is it Bravo? Zeus. So they kind of
WeTV stuff too.
Yeah, they taking over what VH1 was doing. And hopefully VH1 and BET can kind of get back into the music and entertainment. We'll see. Tyler got it. I'm not sure if he's going to be the executive director or the creative director of BET, but we can put some stuff on there with some redeeming value. I don't mind a little bit of ratchet. I'm righteous and ratchet. But we could throw some.
I do have a question though. I have a question with that. So, Viacom had MTV, BET, VH1. If Tyler bought BET and VH1, what does that mean for MTV? Because I'm noticing now that some of the shows that were on VH1 are now on MTV, like Love and Hip Hop. That was on VH1. Now it's on MTV. Marriage Council. Yeah, what's that, Marriage Camp or something like that? It was on VH1, now it's on MTV. So what does that mean for those shows that were on VH1 that are now on MTV? Was that switch before Tyler bought it?
More than likely, I think that Viacom said, look, we don't want BET and VH1. Like somebody can buy these little channels. So, but we know what the hit shows are. So we're going to bring them over to MTV under the Viacom umbrella. And you can take BET, and I'm sure it'll lower the price of BET and VH1 without having those signature shows. And that's probably why Tyler was able to get it so inexpensively. But it sounds like he's going to have to come up with a whole new level of programming.
Right. Yep.
Tyler, I don't know if you can hear me. Put some podcasts on there. Put a pod named Kickback on VH1 and BET. Nobody's doing it yet. You think
about Just Different?
But Just Different too.
But you can Tyler, listen. BET still up there in Northeast. You still got the building. You got the little satellite office. You can put a little studio back up here in DC. DC ATL. You can put it up in. You can bring it back down south. So DC, you can go even a little bit more further south to Atlanta, and we can, revive BET to what it once was.
And I was there for some days. I used to ride the damn red line. Was it red line or Rhode Island Avenue? Is that the red line?
The D4, the D4, the D6, the D8.
Exactly.
Past there.
My buddies,
McDonald's had everybody.
Exactly. My buddies was on the Posse. Remember Teen Summit?
Yes.
So I used to go up there every Saturday and be in the audience, and I was the first dude with a question. Like, all right, you in a red shirt. Come back next week with a black shirt. You in a black shirt. Like, they were like, you saw your
That was
Teen
when
Summit?
we need shows like that. You know, they took away Teen Summit and put 106 in Park when they went to New York. Not to say 106 in Park was bad, but they took away programming like that. And I think that type of programming really did capture our attention, and it had us looking forward to actually sitting down and watching something because our voices were heard. You know, so
Sure.
hopefully he brings programming back like that.
That would be dope. To do a new Teen Summit, that would be great. I don't know if the kids today, their attention spans, I don't know how that works, but I think it would be a great idea. Challenge the way you think a little bit. And this is something that is definitely going to challenge the way you think. And I'm dying to hear your answer. This or that story of the week. Well, unless you've been under a rock, you know that Adam 22 and his wife Lena the Plug, they have their podcast, Plug Talk, and they do their own home movies. They have their own porn network, and they distribute on all the sites. And they've made a pretty lucrative career with the podcast and the movies, and that's what they do. Most of the scenes are them two and maybe have a young woman join them. They decided to spice things up a little. And there is a category of porn called blacked. And how can I describe this? It's typically when a black man, very well endowed, historically endowed, typically has a quote unquote one night scene with a white woman. And there's a lot of cucking involved. Cucking is when the husband or boyfriend watches the wife with this young black buck. And Adam 22 decided that him and his wife, Lena, the Plug, would do a scene in this genre. Some of the, no pun intended, some of the biggest stars in the genre. And it is to be released next week. And it has everyone talking. Would you let your wife do this? Would you want to try to come behind that? Why would you do something like this? This is going too far. Are you crazy? Is she ruined now? He went on Twitter to say that she's back to normal and everything is good, like making a joke of it. Because if you know anything about the female body, you know it's elastic. It gets right back to where it's supposed to be. Little kegel, never hurt nobody. But that got me thinking. Are you laughing at me?
I definitely am. I'm listening.
So that got me to thinking. Well, someone asked the question, well, if it was your wife, would you let her do it for $10 million? And social media responded with, yeah, no, maybe so, whatever. But I said, let's make it a little more interesting. Let's spice this thing up a little bit. You got to do one or the other. So you could do the scene yourself for $1 million, or have your spouse do the scene for $10 million. And it would be, I guess, it would have to be that extreme. I guess in a woman's situation, you wouldn't be like, oh, he's gonna get a girl and she's gonna stretch. Like, y'all don't have that same fear. But let's say you did. Let's say it was I don't know what would be the equivalent for y'all. Her legal game is super extra, and it'll be more vice than anything he's ever felt in his life, and there's no way you could compare. And then, of course, in the original scenario, Long Dawn the Conquering Cock comes and changes her life.
Oh gosh.
So what would you do? Would you do the scene for $1 million, or would you send your husband to do it for $10 million?
So there's no way that I can choose neither.
There's no fun in that.
Okay, if I had to choose, I mean, okay, I'm gonna remove me personal from this situation and just overall, because I know damn well he ain't letting that shit happen. So I'm the same. So I'm going to remove the personal aspect of this. And I would say if hypothetically, I would 10 million is more than one. Go on, baby. Go ahead. I watch. Have fun.
Because 10 million is more than one.
Somehow that is correct.
Somehow
10
that is correct.
million is, yeah, 10 million is more than a million. Because see, ugh, yes, that's going to be my answer. 10 million is more than a million.
Yeah, see, okay. No fear, no worry about this Venus flex.
I mean, yeah, because you can't say no, so you got to pick 1 million or 10 million. So this for you too. You can't say no. You got to pick 1 or 10. So, I mean, 10 million is better than one. So, you go ahead and I'm gonna watch. And the next time we go, if you better do the shit that you did to her for that $10 million. Because if you have a problem, you ain't doing that $10 million twist that you did on her. You better do that. So go ahead. We gonna split that money. It's gonna be our money. It's our 10 million. Yeah.
See, now,
make it count.
when I've dated polyamorously, right? So in that regard, that's not really a big deal. It's kind of like, I bet, it's more money with you, so let's go do that and go about our business. These particular gentlemen, a little different. From what I hear, this is something different going on here. So I'm like,
We talking about some Donkey Kongs over here. We talking about some stretch them out. You guys sit in the tub of vinegar for 10 days.
Right.
Type of,
right.
You gotta,
But Jay said that is not a category. That's the name of their website.
I was thinking because I was like, that's called just big cocks or some shit like that. Like in the porn world, just big cocks. So I could be wrong. I thought it was, but
yeah. So I guess the website is black. I don't know.
They call them big blacks and pink poppies or some shit like that.
And the cuckold is definitely part.
I'm gonna go topic a little bit. Remember the old porn in like the 80s and the 90s where they used to have a whole scene and the dude would walk up with like, I'm the cable guy, and she comes to the door with some lingerie. I saw this guy, he worked with me, and I just had to tell him he was a white guy. I just walked up to him. I was like, can you please shave your mustache?
I knew you was going to
I said, can you please shave your mustache? He said, why? I said, because you look like the cable man. Like, he was like the cable man. He know what I'm talking about. I was like the cable man. You got a porn mustache. I didn't seen that mustache before. And he looked at me like, the hell you doing watching porn? Listen. Say that off.
Who doesn't? But so my answer, I could deal with that, but it takes me back to Indecent Proposal. You ever seen that movie, Indecent Proposal? And Woody Harrelson thought about it. It was like, no, and then he ran and tried to stop her, but it was too late. I have put myself in that position watching that movie, just like I can imagine the devastation. And then after they got the money and they were happy and unhappy about this, that, and the third. And then he was like, I just got to know, was it good? Like, was it good? And she was like, yes, it was. And I saw his heart eat itself.
That's the thing. Like, if you allow your spouse, what if that person has sex with them better than you do? So, I mean, do it. Now, I hope Adam 22 don't think that this is going to be his like first and last time having sex with that guy. If it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just had to do it because I think I could handle it in a poly situation because I've been in that situation. Well, not with the dudes from Black. I don't know. They weren't. I don't know what it was, but I keep thinking about Indecent Proposal. He running after that helicopter. I don't want to be up there running after the helicopter. They be filming me on IG. Like, look at him run. Like, nah.
Yeah, was it good? Yes, it was good. It was the best I ever had in a long time. And then you gonna be sitting there looking like, well, goddamn. I mean, do your work. You know, you're gonna be looking at yourself, asking questions like, you know, what's going on here? You know, no. I mean, my true option would be hell no. But one of the other 10 million is better than one. But again, I better get that 10 million dick once we done. Pull out all the stops.
And what happens to the money? Do you split it?
That's our money. We married.
What's up with that? If we're married, because the whole 10 million ain't going into her account. I'm gonna need some money in my account just in case this don't work. I can leave with this money or something.
It's going in the joint account. We married.
Okay, all right, well, okay.
Yeah, it's going in the joint account. We married. Yeah, we splitting this 10 million. Yeah, it's all me. It's all mine. You did it. It's my $10 million because I allowed you to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I allowed you to do it. So yeah, bring it on. And before one of y'all out there said, I didn't hear your real answer, Nude. My answer is I'm gonna take one for the team. I'm not sending my wife out there with Mr. Marcus' big brother. Not gonna happen. Not having it.
Because them men be trying to really y'all seen the movies, they don't be trying to be gentle either.
Yeah, and they say that this particular genre is like extreme, like, yeah, I'm not. No.
Yeah, and it's sometimes like, you know, Twitter after dark is just scary. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Very scary.
And sometimes during the day, I just be scrolling my timeline. Well, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, who thought to do this and record it? My God, you guys are too much for me.
Right. Yeah. Clips popping up. I'm watching the Wizards. Oh, the Wizards do a good scrolling by. Or somebody likes the Wizards scrolling by. Or somebody got a new episode scroll by. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to see that after the advertisement for Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell?
Right. So yeah.
And that I'm letting you off the hook this time. I'm not gonna make you sit here and listen to me talk about the TV show From for 30 minutes.
I was trying to use somebody's MGM account. But yeah, I'm just gonna go. I saw the previews, but the preview was kind of scary because that guy with that smile, that white guy, he scares me. I think I'm gonna have nightmares. I don't know.
I don't know if it's quite nightmare-ish, but it's a suspense thriller. It's some horror in there. And the storyline is just so crazy because we're at the end of season 2 and nobody still really knows what's going on. It's like you're in this real. Is it a dream? Is it? Are they dead? Are they alive? Are they in another planet? Is this all a simulation? Is this somebody's dream? We still don't have a clue. And that's what one thing that keeps you going because you want to figure it out. What's going
on? Right,
I try to come people onto the show, and I'm like, you always figure stuff out. You tell me, and they just as clueless as I am. So I'm like, all right, so it's not just me.
That was some good story writing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. It's definitely one of them. So I'll do a deep dive on that later in the week, y'all. Y'all can tune back in for probably 20-minute special about From. It's on MGM Plus, the app.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't. There's only 2 seasons in. It stars Harold Perrineau, the dude from Oz that had the dreads. He also played Mertz from The Best Man. So that'll be a good look. What music you listening to?
So I listen to, honestly, don't laugh. I listen to Marvin Gaye, like he's still alive and his album came out yesterday. I listen to a lot of Tyler the Creator, The Internet, and Kendrick Lamar. but that's basically in my rotation. Oh, and Snow Allegra. A
Love
lot of
Snow.
Pharrell. I listen to like I'm a more of a, like a 90s R&B, 80s, 90s R&B, and I don't know. I just some of the I don't know. Like right now, I have in the background playing. I have Jill Scott Radio on Pandora,
Okay.
Neo Soul, all that good stuff.
Snoop has an artist, I think his name is October London, and
Okay.
his album is called like The Rebirth of Marvin, and he
Oh,
has a
okay.
Marvin voice. And so I don't know
Okay.
how they clear these samples. You know, Marvin Gaye family sue everybody. You take one of his beats,
Yes.
but his whole album is full of Marvin Gaye samples with like a modern twist on it. It's really
That he
good.
had to pay for them, or they must
Had to,
really, really like
had
him.
to. And he's Snoop's artist, and he's on the new Death Row. So look
Snoop
up,
paid for that.
yeah, facts. Look up
I'm
the.
gonna write it down.
I know the album is The Rebirth of Marvin. I think the artist's name is October London, London October, something like that.
Okay.
You would dig that. And as a matter of fact, you are Apple or Android.
Apple.
I'm gonna send you. I do a podcast playlist with all the biggest songs that come out every week. I update it every Friday, and I'll send you a copy of that. And I just, it's
Okay.
Janelle Monáe on this. It's a lot of new stuff. And Rock Nation has 2-3 new R&B artists out, neo soul type artists. We're on Underground.
Okay.
We got some good shit, and I got a couple of
Okay.
them. Yeah. I'll send you a copy of that when we done.
Okay.
But now
I like listening to new artists and underground artists. I've started listening to some. It's just a station. My daughter has been listening to it. A lot of European artists.
Okay.
And art. They have neo soul and R&B over there, and they have a lot of good artists.
I'm gonna give you a good Pandora playlist, not playlist, but station.
Okay.
Future Soul.
Future Soul. Okay.
I told Siri to play a Future song, and she didn't hear me correctly, and she took me to the Pandora station Future Soul. That shit is fire. Fire. You can always find the new up and coming soul artist on there.
Okay.
That's on fire.
Okay.
Y'all getting jewels this week. You ain't know where to find the music, y'all.
Yes. We need some new flavor in our ear.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, guys, in the description of this week's episode, I'll put the playlist, the Apple Music Pioneer and Kickback playlist that I update every week with the newest songs coming out. So that'll be a good look. A girl said she played at a 4th of July cookout, and they was in there. So
they was still in there. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna release the Choke and Show playlist once again. All my playlists got deleted. I don't know the evilness of Apple, but it happened. And my Choke and Show playlist had to have 50, 60 subscribers. I was like, babies were born to this during the pandemic, or at least made. And now that playlist is gone. I'm revamping it, trying to get it back to how I want it. That'll be available too. But the podcast playlist music, that's up. That'll be up tonight in the description.
Okay.
And tell the people where they can find you. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. I enjoyed myself. This was really, really awesome. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Natalie's Nirvana. You can find me on Facebook at Natalie's Nirvana. I'm on TikTok as well at Natalie's Nirvana. So that's my handle on all social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, but I don't tweet because I still have not gotten the hang of Twitter. I just go to watch videos and catch the news. Yeah, I'm one of those ones. I haven't been able to tweet. But yeah, you can find me there. You can find my podcast on Facebook at Just Different Podcasts, all one word. We're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok as well. We're trying to do something new with the whole TikTok thingy. So check us out. Oh, and we're on YouTube as well at Just Different Podcasts. JUSS Different Podcasts. All one word.
And of course, you guys know me, No Breaks New everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Facebook is my government name. You don't need to find me there. You can find a Pioneer and Kickback on Facebook. Oh, and I'm at No Breaks New on the new app, Spill. Have you heard of Spill?
What is that? Oh,
This is a new app. It's in its beta stages, so it's invite only until they open it up. But it's like a Instagram meets Twitter, but a little funky look, a little cooler look.
Okay.
And people have been in it for maybe 3, 4 to 5 days now, sometime last week.
Okay.
So it's still
Okay.
real new. Like I only know like 4 people that's on it so far. But
Oh,
it's supposed to be the new thing. And everybody's like, oh, this feels so much better. It doesn't really feel better to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, it does, but I don't know why. I think people's energy is better on it. I think people say, on this app, we're just gonna be nice and love each other and have fun. So it's not any arguing, any bickering. But I also haven't figured out how to follow with so many people. And it's called Spill. So it's either the tea, how do they word it? It's like the tea you're serving, which is your post, or the tea you're sipping, which is what you're watching. So if I'm scrolling down my timeline and I see you, then I'm sipping your tea. If you scroll down my timeline, you see me, whatever I post is me serving tea. So it's got the whole tea thing, and it's called Spill. And I don't know. Kickback is out there. Find somebody that has an invite. Give it to me. Don't come to me. Don't start hitting me up. Y'all talking about give me an invite. Not like one invite. I'm giving it to Nat. So there you go. But check out Spill. It's one of those things where everybody think they cool when they ended the first week. But it does actually look good. So it might wind up being something. I'm just in it because I don't want to be the only person who don't know about this. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on?
You want to be in the know.
Yeah, exactly. I got to talk about it on the podcast. And then there's somebody out there that's like, oh, you on Spill? He got early. So now I got some clout. I'm clout chasing. But it seems like it's cool, I guess. I mean, it seemed cool to me. I haven't took a deep dive into it because I'm only following like 4 people. So it's like my Spill is boring as hell. Once more people get on, I start following more people, and I guess find some celebrities or whatever, and then it'll be lit. But Kickback is, each and every week we right here. A pod named Kickback, conversations curated by No Breaks New. This week's guest was Miss Natalie's Nirvana. The YouTube is up now. We're available everywhere you get your podcast, and we're on the lookout for some of these funny clips coming up, especially that Indecent proposal. I'm chopping that one up. I was 22 and then fool letting King Kong Bundy slam busy into his wife. That's crazy.
Pound your wife. Pound town for real now.
Okay? Right. They want to call that a whole nother name. That's murderer's row. I don't know what you call it. Shit.
Once you go black. Okay.
Right. But I am curious now. I want to see it. So they might, I don't know, they got to pay for it, I guess, on that site.
The podcast or the actual?
I think the actual. But somebody's
going to be so embarrassed.
Especially if we seen your videos with her. We see how she sounded in your video. She better have the same energy.
that $10 million. That's just
right.
Better fuck me with that $10 million dick. I'm trying to tell you. You better not. I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
Well, we will see.
Oh, and then the dude that started it with her, he said they hit him up, asked him to do it. They paid him double his normal fee. And he said when they was in the scene, the wife was talking to him like, you like that little man? You like this little man? Like saying, do you like watching me? I was like, yeah, your face has said it all. All right, y'all, Kickbackers. This is the second half of the year. I would recommend you right now 5 goals you want to accomplish before the end of the year. Either third quarter goals, fourth quarter goals, or goals for the entire year. Write them down, put a pen and paper, get it in your mind, and make sure you get into next year the best way possible. It does not matter if you hit your goal for the first half of the year. It does not matter if you missed your goal for the first half of the year. We're in the second half. Starting over. Everybody starting at square one. Do what you gotta do. You hear me? Mm-hmm. All right, Nat, we up out of here. Uno. We out. Draw 4, skip you, reverse. Draw 2, draw 4, draw 4. We out.